Machine Sentry Next Generation.
Analysis has changed in the next generation Machine Sentry platform. We have changed the spectral view into a full dashboard and have added waterfall plots so you can easily analyze data over time. We start by entering our site and moving through the hierarchy all the way to point level. Once here, you can start by looking at the Details tab, which will give us point details at the top of the window, along with the appropriate trend graphs for that point. If we move across to Readings, you will see all the numerical data values that have been collected against each parameter that is required for that point. They will be highlighted in green, yellow, or red in line with the alarm limits on that particular point. You will also be able to see who collected that data, how long the data took to collect, and which device was used via its serial number. If we move along to the spectra, you will see that as default we have 3 spectral graphs available. The large on the left shows velocity spectra, the top right the acceleration waveform, and the bottom right the acceleration spectra. We will focus on the velocity spectra in the top left and the buttons you see at the top of this widget. These buttons allow you to change what you see in this spectra, so currently a spectrograph and V are highlighted for spectra and velocity. If we change the spectrograph to the wave, we now have the waveform for velocity. If we look to the right at the A, V and D buttons, selecting A will give us acceleration, D displacement, and I will give us impacting. Moving along, the next set of buttons allow us to select which cursor we want to use within our spectra. The first option is no cursor. Then we have single cursor, and if you click it will hold the cursor in place and then unclick to be able to move it again. This is followed by the harmonic cursor. Again, click to hold the harmonics in place, and unclick to release. We then have the sideband cursor, and finally the baseline cursor. Again, clicking to lock the cursors in place and the offset accordingly. We then come to our zoom options. As default, you can zoom in the x-axis by clicking and dragging, and once you are done, double-click to reset. The next button allows us to zoom in the y-axis, and we also have a free zoom so that you can zoom in both axes at the same time. Under the settings button, we are able to display log X and log Y into the spectra, as well as being able to adjust averaging, high and low pass filters, and impact high pass filter. Our newest feature to analysis is the addition of waterfall plots. So if we move over to the waterfall table, we can see that it allows us to compare measurements over time. The first measurement in the graph we can select from the Readings tab, and then it will take us back however many measurements we specify in the Settings button. Within the settings, we can also change the angle and the depth of the waterfall, as you can see here. If we use the rainbow button, we can also differentiate the colours in the graph so we can easily identify different measurements.
Machine Sentry Next Generation.